Hey viewers, George here to do an impressional talking bit on this game. It's Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Two Worlds. I have to say, this is probably this is a freaking amazing game. Like, I I don't know how much else to explain. I mean, you've probably heard that it's been getting, the Game of the Year, it's best game on the 3DS, and so on and so forth, and critically acclaimed and stuff. And it's very much well deserved. It is a fantastic game. It's probably one of the better Zelda games that have come out in recent memory. I mean, Wind Waker, when it came back out on GameCube, was a fantastic game. Twilight Princess was okay. Skyward Sword was okay. The various ones that were on the DS were okay, but none of them quite amounted to how much fun this one is, and a lot of that stimulates from the fact that it's just so reminiscent of a classic Zelda game. Within it, you're not getting your hand held as much as other Zelda games in recent memory. Even my favorite one, which Wind Waker, you get your hand held quite a bit in that one. But in this one, after you've completed like the first dungeon or two, the first dungeon or two, you kind of just get left open to explore things on your own. Things like eventually you'll get like the option to go to whichever dungeon you want. And one of the cool things is, unlike in past ones where you have to try and find the various items that you use, like your bow and arrow, your hammer, your slingshots, or whatever, in this one there's a rental shop, which has all the items there, and you can rent them out. And essentially, once you die, that items goes back to the rental shop, which is a really neat system. So that means at any time you can go to any of these dungeons at any order you want, because you will always have the necessary items to go to them. So it leaves it a little more open to the player's choice and decisions as to which one they want to go to first. Of course, along the way, you still will get like a bunch of items that will help you get to various parts. I mean, like, you'll still have to find like the Zoro flippers, for instance. You know, items along that, the running boots you'll have to find on your own. You can't rent those either. But, that makes sense, because those are to get to a certain dungeon. So, like, when you want to go to a certain dungeon, you will have to find that item to get to it. So it's part of going to that dungeon. But, I mean, like, if you need bombs, or if you need your bow and arrow, or a boomerang, or the tornado rod, or something like that, you can rent those out. And what's really neat is, as far as I can tell, the items that you will definitely need for a certain dungeon will be at a discount price during that time that you will be most likely traveling to that dungeon. So that's a really cool thing. So it's not like... So it's almost like a bit of a hint system. So it's like, hey, I have these items on sale, probably because you're going to need them. It also encourages you to not die as often. I mean, you can talk to any Zelda player. A lot of the time, dying doesn't really feel like that big of a consequence, because you always just go back to like the last point in the game, which isn't really too far, because they're always frequent enough that it's not that bad, or you'll just be put to like the beginning of the dungeon or something like that. But once you die in this one, you have to go all the way back to the rental shop, re-rent things, and in some cases, if you rent things when they're at the discount price, you wouldn't want to really die, because then it goes back up to a discount price. Like, the fire rod and the ice rod are like 100 rupees at their normal price, but when they discount them, they're a lot cheaper, like about 50-20 rupees or something like that. Best time to probably have it. And if the amount of rupees sounds really big, it actually isn't. This game has so many rupees. I mean, you won't feel like there's a point where, like, I won't have enough rupees for this. It's always so easy to find these rupees, whether you find little secrets with them in the chest, whether you just sort of do a little bit of farming, or what have you. It's like never that hard to find rupees, so you'll never feel like you won't have enough to buy certain things, which is really good. I mean, it balances out really nicely. Obviously, one of the biggest features of this game is that Link has this ability to merge into the walls, which is a really neat feature, because there are like a bunch of times where the puzzles utilize it, where like you could use it to find secrets or something like that, and that's really cool. It's another way to think of Zelda games, because before, when you play them, you don't really think about like, oh, if I attach myself to this wall and walk along it all the way around, I could get to this ledge that's on the other side. You don't really think about that. And even while I'm playing the game, and I'm fully aware that I have that ability, there are sometimes where I completely forget I can merge with the walls to help me progress through the game. So that's a really neat feature. I really love that. Another neat thing is they have a stamina bar. So in previous games, you would have like a certain amount of bombs or a certain amount of arrows on you. In this one, they got rid of that. Instead, you have a stamina bar. So when you go to fire an arrow or drop a bomb, it takes some of your stamina bar. So you can't just constantly spam a bomb or an arrow or something like that. You gotta wait for it to charge up a bit. I really like that because it means you don't have to like farm for like arrows or bombs or something like that. And on top of that, it also helps that now those aren't like things that can just drop from enemies or from the bushes or whatnot. Just the only thing you'll find in those is hearts, rupees, and all these little collectible things that you find along the way for like side things. Really cool idea. I hope they stick with it in future games because it really works well. There is Street Pass in this game. Obviously, it's a 3DS game. Street Pass is all over the damn place. Haven't tried it. Apparently, it's like this one-on-one battle kind of thing, which is a really neat idea. You set up like which items you'll carry with you into battle, and then like you can face off with other people you Street Pass, and they'll face off with your shadow that you give them. And it's a really nice little thing. Just it's something small. It's not something that will overpower the whole game, and it's a nice little feature, but overall, I mean, it's completely forgettable. I mean, you could never Street Pass and you'll still not miss a damn thing, which is good. Yeah. So far, I've kind of neglected to talk about the story, and probably where a few of my main problems lead is in the continuity of the game itself. Obviously, if you have been looking into our review, if you've seen a little bit of it, or something rather, you know that this is a sequel to A Link to the Past, which was that fantastic Super NES game that everyone loves. It's a sequel to that, and you can really tell because the map's the exact same for the most part, give or take. I mean, some things have been changed around. You won't find like that secret passage off to the side in Hyrule Castle to get to the dungeon like you would, and I don't think Chris's room's there anymore. Oh no. I'm pretty sure there's an equal equivalent to it somewhere. But I mean, like, for the most part, everything seems to be the same. I'm pretty sure someone can point me out wrong and be like, this rock's in the wrong place or something like that, or that never spawns there. Very small, pointless things. But, basically the story of this is, your character, Link, is a blacksmith apprentice, and he has to go take the sword to someone, and shit gets real, and Link has to now kind of save the world again. That's basically it. I mean, Hyrule Castle gets trapped in the force field of stuff, and more along the lines. You have to go around, find the 3 pendants to I think it's to break the magic barrier. I can't remember. And then obviously you have to rescue the remaining sages to put the evil back in evil. You travel to another realm, obviously, stuff like that, what you expect from a sequel from A Link to the Past, obviously. One of my main problems, though, is, as far as I can tell, this takes place within a fair time between the last game and this game, as far as I can tell. I can't find any, information that says it isn't, and sorry, camera went off. I can't find any information that says it doesn't take place around that same time. And I mean, it goes even as far as your character lives in the same house as he did in the last game. But no one sort of regards him as that iconic hero who was wearing the green tunic, and you're still wearing that green tunic too. But you're not really looked at as that hero from that game, which kind of confuses me, because I mean, there's points where it's like, oh, Link, you can't do this. You're not ready. I mean, like, characters kind of discourage you a little bit. Like, the NPCs discourage you from going out on this grand adventure, even though you look exactly like the person who was in the last one. As far as I can tell, you're the exact same person. I mean, Zelda doesn't even recognize you. It gets to that kind of point. So, it just seems a little weird. I mean, Nintendo in continuity with the Legend of Zelda series isn't exactly, you know, like any other series. It's not like how Mario, well, even, but it's not like how other games where continuity carries over from game to game and whatnot. But still, it's a little weird that it's just like, what are you talking about? I saved the world before in that really cool game. Beyond that, because it's a small thing, I mean, once you kind of just, thought about it and it gets past you, this is a fantastic game to enjoy. It's incredibly good, well worth the price. I mean, if you have a 3DS, you owe it to yourself to pick up this game. It's definitely one of the best 3DS games that have come out this year, if I can recall. Looking at the pile. You wanna know? Yeah. I'm comfortable with saying that. This is one of the best 3DS games that have come out this year. Because there's a lot of fun to be had with this game. There wasn't a point where I was like, this sucks, or this is boring, or like, it's not even that frustrating either, which is good. I mean, there is challenge to it, like a little bit of challenge, and there's like trying to figure things out for yourself, but it's not to the point where it's frustratingly challenging, which is perfect. It's like that nice balance. And hopefully this is like a good sign for like the Legend of Zelda series entirely, where we'll start seeing more games that utilize a lot of features that are in this game, such as the stamina bar. I love that thing. That's a great idea. And obviously, no Navi-esque character trying to give you hints along the way. So, with that all said and done, until next time, keep on gaming.